All right, so we are back. OLC Live. We just had a fun conversation with a colleague of mine, Eric Skogberg,
Mm.
around an ungraded undergraduate experience.
Oh, I like the
Which,
sound of that.
yeah, it was very interesting. And we were just talking, and this is Janice Smith,
Hello.
University of Arizona instructional
Yes.
designer,
Yes.
who's been doing yoga sessions
Yes.
here at the conference.
Yeah, it's been great.
Is this the first year you've done yoga sessions here?
It is. So I
Okay.
was here at Innovate last year, and I believe at Accelerate in the
Hmm.
fall, they offered yoga,
Yeah.
and it was really popular.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So Angela said, hey, they want to do it at Innovate. She knows that I teach yoga on the side in Tucson,
Yeah.
Arizona, where I'm from. So yeah, got the opportunity to do it here.
So I saw that you were doing yoga at the conference, and um, I was looking through the schedule and thinking, what are things that are really interesting to me? What are things that I don't often see at a educational technology sort of kind of
Yeah,
conference?
yeah.
And one that really jumped out to me was yoga sessions.
Mhm.
And I think that the yoga in our field of work is there's a interesting overlapping
Mhm.
circles, and I
Absolutely.
wanted to ask you more about that and like how you're a yoga teacher on the side
I am. That's my
and
side hustle.
side hustle. So how did you come into this work, teaching yoga as well as being an instructional designer? Where did this begin?
Sure. So now, first, do you have you practiced yoga?
I hesitate to respond to that
Have you
because like
dabbled?
dabbled,
Okay.
dabbled is would be fair.
Okay.
Yes.
Dabbled. Very good. So I started practicing yoga when I was in college,
Okay.
probably
Yep.
17, 18. I started having to practice. I got very much more serious about that practice when I was in my mid 20s or so, and had kind of decided in my mid 20s that, you know what, I am gonna blow up the current life that I'm living, and I am gonna change my life. And yoga was sort of a vehicle in which to like work out that transformation kind of on
Hmm.
my mat. So that's where, I kind of dropped the pin for where yoga as not just a physical practice, but as sort of a way of living
Yeah.
started for me. At the time I was teaching, I was an elementary school teacher for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
I taught primarily third grade,
All
and
right.
the last 3 years of that, I taught third grade online. I know, right? So
What?
I know with Arizona Virtual Academy, which is an
Ah,
online charter
yeah, yeah.
school, and
Huh.
that was so. I'm so like all instructional designers, right? They come at it from all these kind of crazy places. Like nobody has the same path in.
Absolutely.
But what we do tend to have in common is that wherever we were at before we found ourselves in the ID position, is that we were the person that could fix the printer on right, yeah. So it was that. So
Or
I
they think you can.
or they think I can. So you get asked, right? So it was like, can you fix the projector, the printer? Like, my MacBook is not working. And so I was sort of
Can
that
you fix
role.
mine?
Yeah, I can. I can. It's just like a little bit of black magic and a little bit of skill, like all tech. Um, so anyways, I was that person. And then, I did this online gig because I was trying to balance being a mom
Yes.
and working full time. And I didn't want to give up those pieces. And all this
Yeah.
time, this is all part of my life had blown up, and I had reimagined it, and it's going wonderfully. Yoga's part of that. And, then I kind of found my way. My daughter needed to go to preschool. I needed to
Hmm.
go back to, outside of the homework. Got this job
Hmm.
at the University of Arizona,
Hmm.
doing quality assurance around instructional design. At that time, so when I was teaching, for me, there was not any extra like head space to do anything else but like work, home, and yoga classes, right? Like that was it. I mean, that took, and sleep, that was my 24
No, I
hours.
get it. I
Right,
get it.
right. So because
Yes.
you're grading and all this stuff.
Yes.
So, but as soon as I got this job in at the University of Arizona, I'm not grading papers at night, and
Yeah.
I'm not thinking. I don't know. There was just like this like seismic shift internally for me, where like all this space opened up,
Yes.
right? So it was a great career shift, great for my family. And I thought, you know what, I am going to pursue a yoga teaching certification.
Yeah.
It had been like on my mind. And I really think that there is, like you were saying, those kind of overlapping circles, right? Is that, and what I've been talking about at the conference as I've been teaching yoga with folks is this idea of effort and ease. So, and, you know, of course, I can't remember the Sanskrit words that go along with that, but effort and ease in yoga is sort of a foundational principle where you're always playing that edge of, I want to work, I want to engage, but also how can I like relax into that space and, you know, not be tense and not work. Like if you are in, you know, child's pose, you don't need to hold your jaw. Like it's amazing how much people think their jaw has to do with their yoga practice. And you always have to be like, and relax your jaw, relax your forehead, like ease your shoulders down. Can you, you know, you're in a warrior pose, and can you bend more into that knee while relaxing your shoulders down and relaxing your torso down? So similarly in our work, it's easy in our work to just like dive in and there's all these like innovative things, and you come to this conference and the people here are just amazing, right? Like talented, gifted, they like blow you away with their awesomeness. And it's easy for your energy to kind of be like, oh, they're so awesome. And like, what am I doing? What am I doing with these people? You know? And so to, you know, yoga helps us sort of step back from that and say, I have these gifts to offer, right? And yoga is one of my gifts that I can offer to folks. So I've been so honored to get to do that while I'm here. Helps me sort of manage that energy of like, I'm putting out into the conference, but I'm also like easing into it and taking it in. And, you know, rest when you need to rest, drink plenty of water, like all those conference things, right? So, I just love that this like yoga philosophy of effort and ease is something that we work it out on our mat and we practice it on our mat. And then when we go out into the rest of our life, we remember like, oh yeah, relax my shoulders. I'm just sitting in a presentation. I don't need to be doing this. I can be right here. Right. And it's also that being in the present. So again, conference life is fantastic, but like, you know, the folks in yoga this morning were all just like, yeah, we went out downtown last night. And I was like, okay, so we're just going to do a real like restorative kind of situation this morning, you know, because you were out last night enjoying the sights and sounds.
I would have been right there with
of the Nashville scene. So it really has just provided space for people to just come and be and breathe. And then hopefully, you know, I hope that they're taking that out into the sessions with them, and that they're being present for whoever is in front of them instead of worrying about like, oh, I got to get back to these emails and all this stuff is happening at home. It's like, no, I'm going to pause. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to focus on who's in front of me. I'm going to focus on what I'm learning here. What can I take away from this? And what can I give to this experience? So I'm also, you know, here's the other thing I love about Innovate is the conversations, not presentations, right? So one of the conference types where you get together and you think, here comes another slide deck, but no, it's like 4 slides, and then you break out into groups and you're talking and you're just getting to talk with your colleagues. And that's what it's all about at this conference is just, and forget the word networking, right? It's like you really are building a community and getting to talk to people who are brilliant and engaged in the same work as you and are having the same challenges as you. And so it's just been fantastic to weave the yoga into that. And, you know, I closed, I would not say I am like a poetry reader necessarily, but I love Mary Oliver's poems. And so I brought a book of her poems with me. I close my morning classes where it's a little more quiet with a poem. And I had a participant come up afterwards and she was just like, that was for me, you know, like that poem so spoke to just where I'm at. And I don't know if that meant personally or work-wise, she didn't elaborate, but here's the thing. is there really like a separation internally between our work life and our personal life? Like, yeah, we need balance in terms of how we manage our time and our energy, but those things are integrated within us.
Yeah.
And so, we want to see, there's just some beautiful, beautiful things that can happen around digital learning, mindfulness, presence, yoga, effort and ease, like just tons of convergence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
And I come to instructional design with a little bit of musical background.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
And as an aspiring earlier musician and someone who is growing in my ability to appreciate good songs.
Yeah.
And the dynamics are so important for good music.
Yeah.
And I think in the same way, the dynamics of the way we approach our lives as being at a conference, like there's times where there's crescendos and things are loud and that's good, but you don't appreciate that crescendo or that if you don't also take it back.
Where that energy level kind of comes back down a little bit.
It's energy.
Yeah, totally.
So I am gonna try to make to your session tomorrow.
Please come.
It's at 6:30.
It's at
Central Time.
6:30 Central Time. You should totally come check it out. It's in this lovely space. It's kind of a small boardroom, about the same size as the one that we're in, and the lights are adjustable. So like I can lower the lights. I've got like this great playlist, so there's music, and I've been known to give the occasional like little neck massage and your final rest pose. So it's been a great way for me to give back to folks. And also, a lot of people have a home practice and they go, oh, I was so glad that I was going to have space to do, not give up on my yoga while I was here. So it's really cool.
And I work at Michigan State University, and I work in the Hub for Innovation and Learning and Technology, at which we are in a space that is very open. Mm-hmm. It's triangular, lots of sunlight that comes in from way up high and around surrounding windows. It used to be a math library where we're in.
Very cool.
And anyway, I did a poor job explaining what it's like, but I look at it every morning when I come in and I'm like, that would be a wonderful place for some good yoga.
Right.
But I've never practiced yoga in a routine way, let alone like
you're gonna lead a class.
Right.
It's never too late.
But I'm sure there are people I don't know who's around me.
If you started talking to your colleagues, you would probably be surprised how many people are like, "Oh yeah, I totally." But I've been practicing for 25 years. You're just
totally.
Like, what?
Yeah. So I'm curious, at the University of Arizona. Has there ever been an integration of yoga with like your growing department of folks?
Absolutely. Okay. So I am very fortunate in that my colleagues and the directors of where I'm at, Angela Gunder and Melody Buckner, are very supportive of the idea of kind of work-life balance, and both have done yoga and are kind of like definitely supportive of the mindfulness practices. So actually at our annual retreat every year, I lead a guided meditation at the end where folks like get to, kind of either sit or lay down on the ground, depending on where the retreat happens, lead them through a meditation. I did, this last Christmas. So that like week before Christmas break starts, offices start to empty out, right? People start to take off, they're taking off with their kids, whatever. So we did, those of us that were left, we found a spot in the library, same kind of thing, right? This beautiful light, the way the windows are, you feel like you're up in the trees. There's all these big trees, there's birds chirping. I mean, it's like totally picturesque. And I led an hour yoga session, and a few folks in the office that joined me, they had never done yoga before. They were such brave souls. They came and enjoyed it. So there's actually and there's other folks too on campus who work there, who lead these yoga sessions for people in their department. So it's actually something that there's pockets of it. And Tucson is a vibrant yoga community. like we have some instructors there who are known around the world, have
Okay.
studied with some just like incredible people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really great, University of Arizona is an amazing institution to be at, and an amazing yoga city as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for sharing this
Yeah,
with us.
absolutely.
And,
Glad that I could be here.
I'm looking forward to hopefully participating tomorrow.
Yes, I'm
And
gonna be looking for you.
it'll be cool to discuss with others about their experiences with yoga and how that relates to our work in higher education. So
yeah,
thank you,
Jen.
Jen.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Well,
yeah, so
namaste.
Namaste. Talk with Mr. Ben Scragg, and so we'll get that going in just a few moments.